Here, I'm going to do a clear piece. It's one of the most fun things you can do when you're doing the Lego project. And here I've got a photograph of a model, and I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to do this piece right here, this translucent piece. You can see that I've got a new layer. It's called headlight, and the picture is locked. And the first thing to do is to decide what shape this is. I see this is, the outline is pretty square. So I'm going to start with the pen tool. And because there are no curves, I can just do clicks. I have a fill. So let's go ahead and go Shift X so that we're designing with a stroke and no fill. Okay. The next thing to do is to decide what the major look is. And get the eyedropper, which is the letter I in the keyboard. And I'm going to say that. That looks pretty good. And here in the layers panel, let's turn that off so we can move to our next section. If there are any kind of round sections, like here's a good time that we could use the ellipse tool. So let's get the ellipse, and let's go ahead and Shift X so that we're designing with a stroke and no fill. And we're going to rotate this into position, then get the black arrow, which is V on the keyboard. Now when we have this piece, because it's got no fill, we have to be right on the line when we move it or scale it. Now decide what color that should be. Hit the letter I and fill that in. Let's make sure it's not the same color as our first shape. Turn that off. All right, now maybe the fun's going to begin. Let's use the pencil tool. So the pencil is the letter N for pencil. So if we hit N on the keyboard, we get the pencil. And if we double click the pencil on the toolbar, you can see earlier in the last module, we learned that we can make them very smooth. We can change those. We can keep selected if you want to keep that selected. And we can close the path. So let us do that for now and click OK. And let's decide what, then we're going to design, like we were cutting out construction paper, what's the next biggest shape? This one right here is really huge. So let's design with a stroke and no fill. And we'll just draw. Maybe I'm going to... So there's no right way or wrong way when you're using this tool. Okay, because our settings said keep selected, it's selected. And we hit the letter I, and then we can bring that in. Now, if that seems too dark, we can edit and undo, or use undo on the keyboard and pick a slightly lighter color. Here in the layers, we want maybe turn that off. Go to the next piece. So N for pencil. And we're just going to keep drawing piece after piece. And it's actually kind of fun because you can be really abstract. So let's draw maybe this piece. Hit the letter I, bring that in, turn that off, hit N for pencil. So this is one of the areas where you can be really abstract and it looks really nice. Let's go a little bit. Oh, wait, how about this piece? And we haven't done this lovely piece yet. Of course, you're deciding which colors. I'm going to maybe lump those colors in together, and that's totally fine. N for pencil. Let's go to a different color, turn those off, and let's go ahead and start with a stroke and no fill. So there's a nice piece. I for eyedropper. Now, let's do another trick. Well, first let's look at everything and then zoom out. So we still don't really have quite enough pieces in there, but it's starting to look nice. Turn those all off so we can see the photograph. The next neat trick we can do with the pencil, if we fill new pencil strokes and we don't keep selected, how cool is that? You can imagine what's going to happen. And let us get the eyedropper before we even start this time. And let's decide what color we're going to draw with. Let's do a little brighter. Yeah, that's there you go. Let's do that. Nice and bright. And put the stroke on top. Now, what we can do, because we have fill new strokes, you see how it's kind of following with us? We can draw all of those shapes all at once. So I'm just going to go through and draw. Now you can see why it's maybe a little bit confusing, because it is filling that color in as I'm drawing. So it's not something you want to do usually, but for these abstract sections, I'm going to do everything that is that nice bright color. Now maybe this section's even brighter, so I can come here, I can get the eyedropper tool, eye on the keyboard, I can select that brighter section even, go back to the pencil, which is N on the keyboard. So we can just draw these really abstract shapes. All right. Now if I turn all the others back on, you can see it's really looking kind of messy. But when you're doing the clear pieces, the messier it is, the more realistic it looks. So look how nice that is. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a few more colors in here. It's not quite enough, but you can see when I zoomed out that it's already looking nice. So I'm thinking this piece right there is still a little bit too dark, but that's okay. Let's put some stuff on top of it. N for pencil. And Shift X to switch so I'm designing with the stroke. And maybe for this again, I'm going to go back to, I'll turn off fill and I'll turn on keep selected. So you can have fun, playing with these. So let's do that shape. I for eyedropper, bring that in. I want it to be a little lighter. So I hit an undo. There we go. Turn that off. Let's see, N for pencil. But I think you're getting it. I hope you're getting it. So look how cool that is. We just draw these abstract shapes. Get the I for eyedropper. Bring that in. All right. I'm going to keep drawing on this, but I'm going to let you move on to the next video.